We're back.
Hello, everyone.
We just spent the whole break placating the both sides of the Fulham or Aston Villa debate.
Yes. But now we are
We should talk about a real club that we'll talk about no doubt Arsenal.
We'll talk about
Everton.
actual clubs in crisis, and that is Newcastle.
Yes, so we're going to talk about Newcastle versus Chelsea and Arsenal versus Man City in this particular segment. First,
Newcastle got their great manager, great scorer back, Alan Shearer. Another new coach, fourth manager of the season. They think they can rescue their relegation chances. Too bad, they still lost 2-0 to Chelsea. Frank Lampard and Florent Malouda scoring the goals. Ghim Pheng, do you think Newcastle deserve to go down?
Newcastle, I think based on first 45-minute performance, Newcastle deserve a point. But second half, they simply crumble. Newcastle, during the first half, they were playing extremely aggressive, and it's funny that the referee didn't book Nicky Butt and instead he booked Frank Lampard for diving when Nicky Butt clearly clipped his heel. And as I mentioned last week on the show, Frank Lampard is my player of the season, and this match again proved it. Both goals involve Frank Lampard, and he's the engine room for Chelsea, and he didn't. And surprisingly, I see the starting line. I know that we are going to win because there is no Michael Ballack.
Ghim Pheng, I have to agree with you. Ghim Pheng, let me ask you another question. Do you think Frank Lampard will single-handedly make Chelsea triumph over Liverpool in this midweek?
There's no way that Chelsea can use a single player to triumph over the red hot Liverpool now. It's a very close battle. It's a 50.
Are you thinking of committing a Liverpool fan? This is what you say.
It's a 50-50 chance. If you look at Liverpool now, it's and moreover, it's at Anfield. You know how intimidating is Anfield, and even Real Madrid lost there by 4 or 5 goals. And in Chelsea, Chelsea will be happy with the draw.
Because he's professing his
Chelsea has never won.
I have to disagree because this is a cup game. It's a completely different thing. When you have a cup game, it's a completely different thing.
About Newcastle.
Yeah, but we're talking about Newcastle versus Chelsea.
Relegated, you see, sorry.
That's nothing to talk about. That's it. Relegated. Next,
will Newcastle get relegated? Everybody?
Yes. For the first time
think so.
in a week, I've changed my opinion. I remember last week you all were telling me
From the start, Ben, I've
West
been
Brom,
saying it.
Newcastle, Middlesbrough, and I thought this is the week they'll pull out show what they're made of. West Brom might come in with 2 points from the last 2 games, which is an improvement because we need no points. And I thought against Stoke at home at the Hawthorns they would show something, and it was a heartless performance. Middlesbrough, I feel sorry for Gareth Southgate because I think the players are just playing like they can't be bothered because they know they're going to be moving on. So I feel sorry for Gareth Southgate.
Okay, Chuk, please. Your match. How? Arsenal versus Man City.
2-0. Emmanuel Adebayo, both goals.
It is this thing that, I mean, it's such a change from the last few games where finally they realised let's get early goal, after that you can just cruise the match. I was amazed at Emmanuel Adebayo, that's why I'm holding his mic. Tall, lean, lanky, and scores a goal with his head. See, look!
Exactly looks like the...
Put a red and white jersey here. This is Emmanuel Adebayo. Anyway, for the first time, I remember while he's out injured, I was glad he's out injured because I was saying he thinks he's Thierry Henry. For the first time, he's actually playing up front where he should be, and he's got the goals. That's what he should be doing. And if he learns from this, I think Fabregas had a word with him. Kudos to Rafa Benitez, because I think we have solved our midfield dilemma. Song and Danielson look to be doing the job, and now Fabregas is playing the advanced Gerrard role and is doing it well.
And where's Arshavin playing?
Arshavin was a bit out of the game this time, so I think it will be a case. But he had a good game still. It was not a game like, as he wasn't as influential as previous games. But then again, he was the first to say he's.
Well, you have gone quite a while without being beaten. Right? How many matches unbeaten?
17 games unbeaten, and this time
why
I'm very proud
can't
to
you all
say.
do it?
I was proud of it even when we were drawing 0-0, the new 1-0. So now I'll be especially proud when we're winning the games. And I think what for me I'm comforted about is, I think Ghim Pheng, you're being a bit hard on your Chelsea team. Now suddenly I got blue somewhere. What Chelsea
it's
are
a
doing?
transference from Edwin.
What
Even
Chelsea
from
are doing
Everton.
are winning
Everton.
their games. I mean, for me, I'll be quite happy if Arsenal play well, but save their strength for the other 2 games. But I secretly hope they might win the league so I can dance in that.
Nice.
The bet is still
We're all
on.
looking forward. We're all looking
But
forward.
seriously,
to that
I
one.
mean, I think all Arsenal can do is win their games, and let's see what happens. I think that's what Chelsea can do, and that's what they're doing. It's interesting. The top 4. I think we now know our relegation candidates. I think it's
Just
very
last year,
clear.
Newcastle and why I think they can get relegated. Me, Alan Shearer.
What? Are you serious?
Shearer.
Why?
Honestly, because
He's got
number one, Alan Shearer has no coaching experience.
Yeah, he totally
Number
lacks.
2, if you listen to him as a pundit, he doesn't say anything that that's not simple common sense anyway. I don't see why Newcastle would think that bringing him back is going to save them from relegation.
Do you think maybe it's just a PR move? I mean, since you're in PR, you
well,
probably
yeah, but
understand it.
you need someone to come in and rally the players together and give them tactical, because they have the players to be able to pull themselves out of it. But, Alan Shearer is not the man to do it, and I'm sorry, I think this is the biggest mistake that
This is where I would disagree to part. I agree he's not a good manager. I agree he will not be the long term. That's why he said he's only taking them for 8 games. But I think he's smart enough to realize he just needs to win 2. And I think he can do that. That new manager syndrome. They were holding Chelsea. I think Ghim Pheng said as much for the first half. He's just good for that 2 wins. I can see him getting 2 wins. And I think 2 wins will save them. I may be wrong. It'd be interesting Sunderland, because United plays Sunderland next. How much Sunderland won that game? Because if Sunderland lose to United, which I can see happening, and Newcastle win the next game, they're playing Stoke, right? Newcastle. It'll be interesting. I think that it will give them the belief. He's good for 2 wins. That's all I give him credit for. But that's all.
Ben, I don't know. I think Newcastle's going to go down because from the start, and when I mentioned it, I said Newcastle looks really. I don't know how Shearer is going to do this because with all his
Charm.
feel and charm and whatever that the love they have for the club
Charisma.
And his motivational skills.
I don't think this
Nice.
is. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to actually get the.
In a way,
club
I agree
up.
with the 2 of you. I don't think he's a good manager. I see the Choktis side. I think sometimes this is where it's just to get the players motivated. Choktis.
Break! Yes! Let's go for break now.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite good, huh?
Yeah, I love it.